And you're all very welcome, as I said. And we are in association with Reilly Formation, tailor-made solutions for your business. Now, today we are going to take it easy. We're not going to go too hard on you. We're here to try and help you with your business English. I'm going to look at my list here and tell you what we have in store for you today. So first up, we have responding to how are you? Because if I ask you how are you, we did this in the last class, and if I say to you how are you, what are you going to say to me? You're going to probably say I'm fine. And you? Okay, we hate that. We want to do something different because it's too boring and we've been doing it for years and years and years and years. We're going to try and get it into your mind to change this, and we'll give you, like in the last class, the same things to have you saying something different and a bit more natural. Okay, we're going to go do that first. It'll only take a minute. After that, we're going to look at some differences between American and English. Americans being what we call people from the United States. I know it is all the people from the Americas, but in the English world, when you say an American, it means somebody from the United States, because we don't have the words United Statesian. We don't say this, so we have to, we jump and we say American. It might change in the future, but that's what it is for the moment. We're going to look at pronouncing difficult words again. We are going to look at some spelling. We're going to look at a little bit of news while you were sleeping, just to get some pronunciation, some new vocabulary, and that kind of thing. Then we'll have a phrasal verb. The one today I have for you is to work out. Different meanings in different contexts. I'll give you the two different contexts. We will have a word of the day, business word of the day, which will be pivot, and then an idiom of the day, which will be on the same page. I'm going to be giving you all examples for these so that at the same time as learning, you will be able to internalize and hopefully make sense and use them. So let's move across, and what we're going to do is I'm going to make myself a bit smaller here, and then I will show you the first page. So again, we have how are you, and as I said, if you're normally saying fine, I hope this can help you. As I mentioned before, using fine is not so common for us. Fine generally means there is no problem. So if I fall off my chair, like, oh, are you okay, James? Say, yeah, I'm fine. Or, James, how about we do the class next Friday instead? Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. Is it okay with you? Yeah, fine. So fine generally means there is no problem. Okay, so we have here, very well, thanks. How about yourself? I'm good, thanks. How about yourself? Not too bad, thanks. How about yourself? And good, thanks. How about yourself? So if you can make this kind of just a kind of natural response, pick one that you want to use for your upcoming month or upcoming week. If it's different to if you've been using fine all your life, make a change. It is something that is there is no problem, so I can say it's fine. But it's kind of boring. It's not so common with native speakers, and we feel I personally feel a distance if people say fine to me. I don't feel a warmth. I don't feel a closeness. It just sounds mechanical and robotic, and it's not real. You know, I'd like something a bit real. So if someone says, even though in most languages we always reply with something mechanical anyway, it changes from day to day, and sometimes you do give an honest reply. You know, you can say, yeah, I'm good, thanks, enjoying the nice weather. For example, if someone asks me, say, yeah, not too bad, thanks. Tomorrow we have holidays, so I'm looking forward to spending a few days with my friends away in the countryside. I'll give an honest reply. So, and I'm sure you do too. So these are nice and quick, and in between, if you want, you can add something else. Okay, so I'm not going to stick with that because I did look at it in the last class. But if you do say fine as a general reply, you can continue to do that, but give me a thumbs up because I guessed it. Okay, Giving me a thumbs up helps share your like with the rest of your network, and that gives a bit of lets people know that you are watching me. Okay, let's move along quickly. This is going to be fun now. We're going to move along to, and I'll do some spelling, is what Americans say and what British people say. So, pants. Can you guess what pants are? I'm sure you can, because I think most foreign learners use this word, and it means what. But do you know what we say in the UK and Ireland? We say, so pants is P-A-N-T-S. We're going to look at some spelling as well, okay? P-A-N-T-S for pants. And then in the UK, it's trousers. T-R-O-U-S-E-R-S. Trousers. The S here, the pronunciation of the S's in both cases is Z. Z. Not S. Not like a snake, okay? It's Z. Trousers. Trousers. Okay? Because if I heard trousers, it would sound bizarre. It would sound strange. But I know this is very common with a lot of learners, especially here in Spain. Also, I'm sure not so much in Portugal because they have the Z sound. Italy as well, I would say. And French, possibly. I don't know. You can tell me in the comments. Were you saying trousers? Or are you able to say trousers? See, I don't stop myself. So everything is spoken. Trousers. Okay. Next word, F-A-N-N-Y. Fanny in the United States. What does that mean? Okay, fanny. Right. Well, fanny in the United States in British English is your bum. Or when you're talking, even your bum is your behind. Sometimes you say you're behind. Many different words for this. And also bottom. Often we'll say this for children. I would say to my children, my young boy, he's coming up to 3 years old, and if I'm cleaning him, I'll say, I need to clean your bottom. I need to clean your bottom. So your bum or your bottom. And in the UK and in the USA, say fanny. So we don't say that. So that's what they say there. Next is yard, Y-A-R-D. What do we say? Begins with G. All right. G. I'm going to try and look across and see the comments at the same time as I am doing it. So I just noticed somebody wrote a comment. So I'll have a look at those. So yard is garden. G-A-R-D-E-N. Okay, garden. So a yard for me is more... yeah, maybe where you might put like machinery or something like this. Let me see. Okay, I'm getting distracted, but I need to get used. I'm really happy if you guys are commenting. It's fantastic. So let's see. The movies. What do we say in the UK? Okay, the movies. We say I'm going to the cinema. I'm going to the cinema. Let me look at the comment. I'm all right, thanks. Okay, Flora, thank you for that. That's in relation to how are you. You can say I'm all right, thanks. That's good. Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. How about yourself? Often people as well will, when you're passing someone on the or in the office and you say like very quickly, I imagine, Flora, you're from Spain, or you might just pass somebody here and you say, hola, hola. Often people will say, when I was living in the UK, and it's the same in Ireland as well, will often say, all right. And there's, it's all right question mark. And you just pass each other saying this. So that's a common way, but that's absolutely fine. That's brilliant. Anybody else who would like to comment and let me know how you reply to how are you? I'm all right, thanks. But I do get a feeling a bit from all right, I'm all right, is sometimes it is okay, but I get a little bit of a feeling as well from all right, like something happened, but I'm okay. Like, no, like I'm all right. It can be like that as well. But I'm all right, thanks. I would put it on the scale of between good and negative, with I'm okay and I'm all right, are kind of in the middle, more towards the bad end. Not necessarily, but I would definitely, I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's right in the middle. Right in the middle. Okay, so you're fine. I'm being very like trying to get into my mind and trying to get into the mind of a native speaker. Okay, so that's good as well. I'm all right. I would put it in the middle a little bit to like 45%. Okay, if I'm to be picky. Okay, let's move on. Thank you for your comment, Flora. The movies, we say the cinema in the UK and Ireland. The restroom, THERESTROOM. The restroom, that is what we call... I'm sure you're not going to guess this. I'm sure. What do we say? Okay, you can say the toilet, or this one, quite common, is the loo. The loo, LOO. And the paper... The toilet paper that you use in the toilet, we call loo roll as well. So that is something that's very native to the UK and Ireland, and everybody knows it. And in the United States, or in, I don't know if it's Canada as well, but they say the restroom. Okay, cart is the next one, CART. And when we go to the supermarket, we take a cart. In the United States, what do we take in the UK? We take a trolley. A trolley. So where you push with your two hands, and you push that with your two hands, and it's big. The other one you take in your hand is a basket. And in the last class I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. That was our idiom. So that's a trolley. Let's move on. Flashlight. Flashlight is what we used to see in the dark. And a flashlight would be TORCHE. No. Torch. Pretty sure it's just TORCH. Yes. Torch. No, I got that wrong because I wrote it in the wrong place. Flashlight is what they say in the state. FLASHLIGHT. And we say torch. TORCH. A torch. And I don't know why on YouTube now I see these videos for the strongest flashlight in the world, or the strongest torch in the world, like so many lumens or whatever. I don't know, it keeps popping up for me. Faucet is the next one. FAUCET, faucet. Any idea what we call it? It's where we get the water from. Now you can do this, or you can move it in the bathroom, in the loo, or in the kitchen, and we call this the tap. TAP. Oh, I'm after doing something wrong there. Give me 1 second and I'll just do that. Get rid of that. Okay, we're back to normal. T, capital TAP, and then we're down to the last one, which is the bathtub, where you sit inside and you wash yourself. Or you can have a shower in there as well, of course. And we just say bath. Simply bath. So there's lots of different words. And later, what I can do is, if we have time, I'll show you guys a video of American, British, and Australian to see what they say as well. Okay? And that will be different ones. Super. Okay, great. Now I'm going to move on to the next one, and that's pronouncing difficult words. We looked at this last time, but it can be fun. So I'm going to look at this as well. So this is number 1, somebody who works on your back. I'm going to give you a second to try and say it to yourself, or say it out loud while I have a sip of my coffee. Sip is normally what we do when it's very hot. I took more of a gulp there. Number 1 is chiropractor. Chiropractor. And I believe this is a person who works on your back. As far as I know. Number 2. I'll give you a moment to think. How would you pronounce that? Epitome. Epitome. Often, if you break it down, this E probably sound like an epitome. When we say things quickly, it's a very common sound in English. Epitome. And the epitome of good manners, for example, is the height. The height of good manners. Number 3, how would you pronounce this? This is quite, I get a typical pronunciation with the beginning of this type of word, with the HYP. Hypothetical. Hypothetical. Often in Latin languages, the HY will be E. Hypothetical. Hypothetical. But in English, it's high. Don't believe the hype. Hypothetical. And the TH is like 1, 2, 3. It's not spoken. Hypothetical. Hypothetical. Next one, number 4. I think it might be similar in a lot of countries. Silent P. Pneumonia. Pneumonia. The stress on the O. Pneumonia. I imagine if I were to pronounce that here would be pneumonia. But our stress is on the O. Pneumonia. Okay, number 5 is what we see on the water with a sail. La vela is a sail and it's a yacht. Yacht. Y-A-C-H-T. Yacht. A lot of people don't know how to pronounce the word Y because it doesn't come up in conversation. We learn the alphabet and we just simply forget about it. Y is the penultimate letter of the alphabet. Next one, number 6, is a bunch of flowers. What you would give to your partner or to somebody on a special occasion. And this is bouquet. You can say bouquet or you can say bouquet. Both acceptable. A bouquet would be more proper pronunciation, I think, because it comes from the French into English and we haven't changed it and we haven't changed the pronunciation. Bouquet or bouquet, well, we obviously have there. They're both acceptable, but the B-O-U-Q-U-E-T. Actually, normally in English, when you have a Q-U, the sound is qu. But in this case, because it's a French word that we haven't changed, it's more like a K. Bouquet or bouquet. Next one, number 7, E-N-T-R-E. P-R-E-N-E-U-R. Lots of E's there. How many? 1, 2, 3. Okay, another French word that we haven't changed. We don't have an English equivalent for. Maybe we do, but we still use this word, French, and we pronounce it the French way, if possible. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur is somebody who starts their own business, like a startup. If you start your own business from the ground up, from scratch, from the very start, you are an entrepreneur. A lot of these words are actually come from French, I've just noticed. Okay, number 8. Pronounce it the French way, if you get that into your mind. So, G-O-U-R-M-E-T. Often I'll hear people say gourmet. Gourmet. But because we have kept the French word, we won't pronounce the T, and it's gourmet. Gourmet. A gourmet meal, often in English, means a gourmet meal, generally means a nice, fancy meal that you've gotten in a nice place. Perhaps you've, foreign generally, a gourmet meal. So when we see this word gourmet, generally we associate with something quite nice. Next one is underwear for women. Only for women. And this is lingerie. Lingerie. And we have a French pronunciation. But I know the French pronunciation is actually lingerie. If I'm correct, you can correct me online and let me know. But in English, we think we are pronouncing this the French way, but in fact, we're pronouncing it our own wrong way. Lingerie, Lingerie. And number 10, finally, very commonly mispronounced in a lot of languages, because you have the word in your own languages, and this is catastrophe. Catastrophe. The stress on the second A, CATASTROPHE. Catastrophe. So catastrophe. Yes, because I would often hear a lot of people saying catastrophe as a catastrophe, or but the E, for some reason, we pronounce like an E. It doesn't make any sense. Never expect English to make any sense, because we take these words from other languages, and what we say in English is we butcher them, like a butcher who has the meat and like bagging and slicing up the words. We butcher them, okay? But that is how it is. Never assume that the writing in English is going to be the way it's pronounced. No. We're not going to make it that easy for you. Okay, super duper. On to our what I'll do now is we'll quickly go across and see we have some pronunciation from different words. I'll just make sure that I am small enough here. My photo, bring me down here. And we're going to just look at a couple of stories here that happened during the night. And I'll try and zoom in. Right. I don't want to talk about the French one. I want to look at this in Peru. Right. So this is from La Repubblica. Okay. In Peru, Parliament rejects a motion to impeach the president. To impeach the president is to kick the president out. They have done something illegal and we're going to kick them out. There weren't enough votes, says Repubblica. The debating motion for dismissal for moral incapacity, that was what they said. That's the reason for trying to impeach Dina Boluarte for the repression of recent anti-government demonstrations, which left around 50 dead, was rejected on Tuesday, April 4, with 64 votes against and 37 votes for and 10 abstentions. Abstention is when you are absent, you don't vote. Okay, so we say for and against. According to the regulations of the Peruvian Parliament, 52 votes were required. 64 against. Okay, for it to be approved. The elected representatives of the right and the centre did not adhere to this initiative carried by deputies from the left. Okay, so there were lots of protests in Peru. Unfortunately, 50 people, let me get that number right, around 50 dead. And they wanted to get rid of the president for this reason. So that was voted against. Now, here's an American company, Johnson & Johnson, talc and cancer. Talc is this white powder that people use after a bath on their body, and a lot of women use it, as far as I know, and they got cancer because it was related to the talc powder after showering and so on. So talc and cancer, Johnson & Johnson offers $8.9 billion to end lawsuits. The American pharmaceutical giant, which has not admitted its wrongs, offered on Tuesday to settle this sum with thousands of people who sued it, alleging that the use of powders containing talc had caused cancers, and that was reported by the Wall Street Journal. So a lot of people sued, and this in Spanish would be demandar, as far as I know. Demandar. Bring people to court and try to get money. So Johnson & Johnson says, no, we didn't do anything wrong, but we will offer you this money. And it would be one of the most important regulations in terms of liability for these products, notes the Daily. If a court and a large majority of plaintiffs are the people who demandar, who sue, approve these measures, Johnson & Johnson could resolve thousands of lawsuits that have plagued the company in recent years. To plague a company is like, one court case after another, more people suing all the time, non-stop, damaging its reputation and causing difficulty, hampering its recent efforts to divest itself of its sales unit, baby powder and other consumer products. Okay, so Johnson & Johnson, one of the big pharmaceutical companies, we heard of them during the pandemic. They offered a vaccine. Okay, so that is, and as we say, 8.9 billion to end lawsuits. Okay, that's just a bit of news. Hampering here means causing difficulty. We saw to sue. We saw plaintiffs over here, and these are in a court case. The people who bring the case and say, you did this, you owe me money, or this is the plaintiff, and the other people would be the defendants. In this case, the defendant would be Johnson & Johnson. Let me see. Yes, this is demandar. To sue. To sue is to bring somebody to court and try and get money. I will sue you. You sue for money, but you bring someone to court. I can't remember. If it's a crime, it's different. You can't get money if it's a crime. That's a crime. Okay, then let's go back. And I want to double check and just make sure. Oh, yes, we're going to look at our... see, the problem is this... I need to go down here. I'm going to get rid of these down here. And we're going to look at our new... this is our phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs, as I said, they can be complicated. Lots of people do not like using phrasal verbs. I completely understand. So I'm going to just repeat what I say all the time. Here we have a phrasal verb. Okay. Forget the to. That's always there. Okay. Work out. Depends on the context. It can mean two different things. No matter what, we're only going to change work. So whatever it is, we're only going to change this word. So today I work out. Yesterday I worked. Worked out. No matter what the context is, worked out. I'm going to show you what the context is now. So it's the only thing we're changing with the phrasal verb, okay? Worked out. And we'll show you in the examples here. Right. So, to work out. This number one, depends on its context, okay? This means to train. I need to work out more often to stay in shape. Okay? That is when you go to the gym, when you exercise, you work out. Now, in business, it means something else. And in business, I thought I wrote the definition, but I didn't. It means to... I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. Maybe did I do it there? No. Maybe I put it somewhere else. Okay, it doesn't matter. When you work out number two, what you're doing here is let's work out a plan to increase our sales. Let's find a way. Let's discover. Let's work out. So normally, for example, let's take a mathematical problem. To solve the mathematical problem, you need to work out how to get the answer. You're doing step by step. You're working out. So this is what workout is in business. So I need to work out, for example, if I'm a business and I have people and I'm not getting a lot of money and I have 3 people working for me and maybe I need only 2, but I want to keep 3, I need to work out a way to keep the 3 people. Pay them less money, ask them to work part-time. I'm coming up with solutions. I'm working out a way. So this is what workout is. Let's have a look at some more ideas. Number 3, we need to work out the details before we can proceed. Okay, we need to look at the details and we need to make sure they're okay. We need to work them out. If we talk about perhaps a contract, you need to work out the details of the contract, then make the contract, and then sign the contract. She worked out a deal with the supplier to get a discount. Okay? The supplier's offering something, and then you work out a deal. You negotiate. Number 5, I can't seem to work out this math problem. Like I said before, math problem, you're always working out math problems. Number 6, he worked out a compromise with his colleagues. Compromise in English means you want something, I want something, but we don't want the same thing. So I'm going to have to, I won't get everything I want, you won't get everything you want, and we meet in the middle. You compromise. It has a different meaning in a different context, but this is what compromise means mostly in English. Number 7, we'll have to work out a schedule that works for everyone. Okay, we'll have to find a way. We'll have to work out a schedule that works for everyone. Okay, fantastic. Number 8, the team needs to work out their differences before they can be successful. Okay, that means you need to solve your differences. Again, you're solving a maths problem, you're solving your differences before they can be successful. Let's work out a solution to this problem together. And finally, she worked out for an hour at the gym this morning. So as you can see, the context has 2 different meanings. In business, it's solve something, look at something, find a way. And in the gym, it's exercise. All right, great. Let me just check and see if we have any other comments here. And I'm going to go across to double check. Okay, brilliant. Okay, super duper. And we're moving on. Quickly, we are going to go to word of the day. Word of the day is pivot. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing on my chair right now. I'm pivoting. Oh, not hitting the table. I'm pivoting. I'm turning. So in business, what could this be? Well, in business, if we look at the definition, it's a change of direction or strategy in response to market conditions or feedback. Okay, so we change our direction. We pivot. Okay, and I'm going to show you some examples. Let me move down here. Right. So examples of pivots. A company that originally sold office supplies decides to pivot and offer online printing services instead in response to the shift in remote work and digital communication. So sometimes you are forced to move in a different direction. We looked at disruptors yesterday, companies that disrupt, and now we're looking at the companies that have to move in a different direction to move with the times or move with the market. So you pivot towards online printing services in this case. Number 2, a startup that was initially focused on developing a consumer app decides to pivot and create a software platform for small businesses. A startup that was initially focused on developing a consumer app, then they decided to pivot towards creating a software platform for small businesses. Number 3, a restaurant that was struggling or having difficult times during the pandemic decides to pivot to offer takeout and delivery options instead of in-person dining. Exactly, that's what it is, to pivot towards something. During the pandemic, people could not go to restaurants, so the restaurants had to organize takeaway. An e-commerce company that was selling clothing and accessories decides to pivot and focus exclusively on sustainable fashion in response to growing consumer demand for eco-friendly products. I saw a video yesterday of somebody showing a really, really fancy, nice Mercedes, and basically what she was showing was that everything was sustainable, eco-friendly. The seats were made from cactus. The floor was made from, I can't remember, it was just very eco-friendly and sustainable. So they're pivoting towards this direction, and companies pivoting towards electric vehicles, EVs. And finally, a marketing agency that was primarily offering social media management services decides to pivot and specialize in content marketing in response to changes in the digital marketing landscape. Okay, so pivot, if you just get that into your mind, is just turning towards a different direction, looking and moving in a different direction. Moving on then, idiom of the day, and we have on the same page. Use this a lot in business. Its definition is to be in agreement or understanding about something. Just to be on the same page. Okay, if you can imagine that you're looking at a book, and everybody, when you're reading in school, everybody needs to be on the same page. You need to be focused in the same area. And let's look at some examples. We need to make sure that everyone on the team is on the same page before we move forward with this project. We need to ensure that everybody understands the same thing. Our sales and marketing departments are not on the same page when it comes to our target audience. This is a problem. If your marketing and team and sales team are not on the same page, it can create difficulty. We need everybody on the same page. The client and our team seem to be on the same page about the goals of the project. That's great. That's what you want with a client and your work. You want to be on the same page in relation to the project. Let's have a meeting to get everyone on the same page about the changes we're making to the company's policies. And it's important that our investors and management team are on the same page when it comes to our long-term strategy. Okay, so often when you're giving a meeting as well, and you say, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that we're all in agreement, that we all understand the same thing. Very, very common if you're working with English people, English natives, they will be using this type of language. Often, it's the first thing that comes to mind rather than I want to make sure we all understand each other. These idioms become part of business speak and they come to mind first before using more basic language. So it's important for natives anyway. It's important that you know those. Okay then. You know what I'm going to do just before we go? I think I'm going to show you this video of the pronunciation of people. Let me get my headphones. The pronunciation of different words from Americans, British, and Australian. So let's have a look. I'm going to show you the video. Just to end on a light note and see what you think. And you can let me know which is your favorite pronunciation and which you prefer, and also which you found probably the most difficult. Let's have a look.
Banana.
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 Tomato.
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 This is something in my house. I say differently. I say tomato and my wife says tomato.
Water.
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 Coffee.
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 Dog.
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 Shark.
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 Zebra.
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 Vase.
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 Cat.
Actually, the last one, if we just go back. Vase, I say vase. This can be debatable. I think in your own family, even some people can say vase. When I was younger, I said vase, and then afterwards I said vase.
Castle.
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 Missile.
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 Cookie.
Biscuit.
Biscuit.
Okay, pronunciation here. Often a lot of people say biscuit. It's biscuit, like a KIT. And as you can see already, the British and the Australian agreeing on a lot of these things. Look at the spelling as well. Changes from the American to the British and Australian.
Candy.
Sweets.
Lollies.
Sneakers.
Trainers.
Runners.
Bell pepper.
Pepper.
Capsicum.
French fries.
Chips.
Hot chips.
Pants.
Trousers.
Pants.
Underwear.
Underpants.
Undies.
Sweater.
Jumper.
Jumper.
Flashlight.
Torch.
Torch.
So which one do you prefer so far?
Check.
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 Gray.
Grey.
Grey.
Some spelling differences here.
Tire.
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 Jewelry.
Jewellery.
Jewellery.
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
Aluminium.
Mustache.
Moustache.
Moustache.
Airplane.
Aeroplane.
Aeroplane.
Pajamas.
Pyjamas.
Pyjamas.
Color.
Colour.
Colour.
Okay, so there you go. You can see, oh, let me get off that. You can see the difference in the pronunciation there. It's, I think the British and the Australian are closer to each other. It seems quite obvious. Another thing is that the American pronunciation is pronouncing the R. So, for example, tire, pronouncing the R, where the Australian and the British would be tire. Tire. So the R is not pronounced. This is called rhotic and non-rhotic, and you see this Americans, Irish, Canadians will pronounce the R, and British, Australian don't pronounce the R. For example, hair, I will pronounce the R, and a British person will say hair. The R is absent or not pronounced. So which accent do you prefer? Which do you like? Which do you find maybe words that you use? Perhaps are you using more American words, but you prefer the British accent? Also, the spelling can be different. And what do you think of the Australian accent? So leave a comment down below, share and like. That would be very nice. I would appreciate that a lot. It's good to have you guys sending me comments. I really enjoy that, and I can comment back. And I hope you have a good Easter. I hope you have a good break if you are lucky enough to have a break. And I will catch up with you guys next week. And until then, have a great Easter holiday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.